to All the F Words,
a podcast where two writer friends nearly 30 years apart explore everything we give an F about. I'm Gabi Moskowitz.
And I'm Joanne Greene. On each episode of All the F Words, we'll focus on a theme starting with the letter F. Things like Fritos, Felicity, and fangirls.
We'll share stories from our lives and our distinct generational perspectives and look to the experts for insights and ideas.
Today, we're talking about freckles. Those extra patches of coloring or pigment under your skin that you either love or hate.
And trends figure into this as well. Some years people use concealer to cover their freckles, and these days I'm even seeing people actually applying freckles.
Gabi is absolutely right, and we'll get into fake freckles, notice the double F, in just a bit. So the medical name for freckles are epiphyllades. Your genes dictate whether you have them or not, and they often end up showing up during childhood, and you even may get more of them throughout your teens up until your 20s. Mostly it's people with fair skin and red hair who have freckles, but not exclusively.
Say, what are freckles, actually?
So freckles are the result of an overproduction of melanin, which is the pigment that gives your hair, skin, and eyes, your complexion, its color. So like I'm a very light-skinned person, I say that I'm melanin challenged. So melanin is what protects your skin from sun damage by absorbing and reflecting the ultraviolet light. So people with less melanin have a greater tendency to burn in the sun.
So people with lighter skin who get freckles, doesn't that mean that they're more sun sensitive?
Yeah, it's likely that they're more sensitive to the harmful rays. Freckles themselves are not considered sun damage, but they do occur as the result of some exposure in people who have that freckle gene.
Are freckles something we should worry about?
Well, you want to pay attention if the freckle changes shape or develops like an irregular border, but most of the time freckles are harmless.
And do they ever serve as an advantage?
They actually serve a purpose. Who knew? So in a way, freckles act like sunscreens, and they're a natural way to block the UV rays from penetrating into the deeper layers of the skin.
So they actually protect areas of the skin that are more sensitive to ultraviolet light?
That is correct.
So redheads and paler skinned white people are more likely to get freckles, but can't anybody get freckles?
Yeah, because anyone of any color can have the freckle gene, which, by the way, has a name. Would you like to know its name?
Yes, please.
How have you lived without this? MC1R. You got that? MC1R. That is the name of the gene. So you can be an African-American or an Indian or for someone from anywhere in the world and have the freckle gene, the MC1R gene.
So what are people with, and for that matter, without freckles supposed to do to take care of their skin to limit damage from sun exposure?
I know you know the answer to this, Gabi. Always wear sunscreen. Always wear
something
sunscreen.
Preventative?
Yes, it's always wear sunscreen, and it's got to be SPF 30 or higher. And that'll help guard against those UV rays that make freckles appear. You will get more of them if you've got the gene. And in any case, whether you have the gene or you don't have the gene, it'll help prevent damage to your skin. Also, if you have freckles, it's probably a good idea to have a dermatologist, as your skin could be, not necessarily, but could be more prone to skin cancer. And you should take a look at your face really closely. This is something I have to admit I do not do because it does not make me happy. The mirror is not my friend. So I look once in the morning, I put on some makeup, and that's it. I don't look again. But if you're going to be responsible, you're supposed to look at your skin all over your body, all the parts you can see, and see if there have been any changes. So just like women perform monthly breast self-exams, or should, people with freckles should perform monthly skin exams. So you make a note of the freckles, the moles, and the other skin markings that you have, and you note any changes. So if
be clear, I think anybody who notices a change in their skin should, we should all be keeping track of our skin, right?
If we did all the things that we were supposed to do, Gabi, would we ever get anything else done? Well, you think about it. Like, how long does it take you to get ready for bed at the end of the day?
Oh, I mean, longer than I'd like it to, but that's mostly because I'm so brain dead. But
Well,
yeah.
I can relate to that. But I think also the older you get, this is going to be one of those 30-year difference stories for us. I mean, literally, the water pick, the mouth, get rid of the plaque, just the teeth alone, right?
Oh
The
yeah.
flossing, it's just, and then I have to put on the mouth guard so I don't do the Brexis or whatever that. Yeah, it's a sort of an
Brexit is
endless.
something totally
Brexit
different.
is totally different. It happened. It's over. It's in England. I'm sorry for them. That guy with the messed up hair. I know, bad. Braxis, however, is when you grind your teeth, I think.
Yes.
Something like that.
Yeah. So, okay. So you were talking about ways to care for our skin, in particular, if we are people who tend to have freckles.
Right. And I'm not even going to get into the skincare stuff that we are sold, that is enormously expensive and what you're supposed to do and the different, the serums and the exfoliant and blah, blah, blah. Speaking of which, you need to exfoliate. So that is getting rid of the dead skin.
Mm-hmm.
And it helps if you do use other skincare products, like sunscreen, for instance, and moisturizers, it helps them work better. So you should exfoliate.
So I'm not a super freckly person, but I have been a couple of times in my life, both when I was pregnant and nursing.
Oh, that's kind of interesting. Do you know why? Did you look into that?
Yeah. So melasma is something that happens during and after pregnancy, and breastfeeding can extend it. It's like, what is it called? The line that you get down your belly.
First of all, let me just interrupt right now and say,
Mm-hmm.
ladies who are listening, there are all these things in life that no one tells you in advance, and this is one of them. So don't ever say we didn't tell you. At some point during pregnancy, you get this dark line, a completely straight dark line going from your belly button down. Or does it
come from linea nigra? Mine started from mine was above. Mine started from my rib cage and went all the way down to
linea
my pubic bone.
That must mean black line.
Something like that. Yeah. Yeah. And this is the other thing. Your areolas turn purple. So did you have that? Did everything get really dark?
No, first of all, we're going back a lot of years now for me to remember my areolas.
Color changing?
I don't think I had that, but I think it's because I'm melanin challenged. This is, I am, so I think it's one of those things where depending on your skin tone and all of that, different things happen. And maybe there are some women who don't get that line down their belly. What do you think?
It's very possible.
I got that.
Well, not only did I get the line and the purple areolas, but I also got a smattering of, I had sort of a line, or looked like a fingerprint above my eyebrow. Totally went away once I finished nursing, and it came back with my second pregnancy and when I was nursing for the second time, and then it went away again. And I got freckles on they were actually really cute on my cheeks and under my eyes and I don't know, a little bit on my forehead. And then they went away once that was all over. It was bizarre.
Well, the nice thing there is that you got to experience it and be cute, because I'm guessing that the fingerprint and the linea nigra and the purple areolas weren't so cute. So you had something at least to feel cute about.
Yeah. It was that. Well, I don't know. Anna called my linea nigra the Anna line, and I stopped nursing her maybe 7 or 8 months before I got pregnant with Sasha. And it didn't ever completely go away in between. And so,
because you didn't make all new skin all over again. It was still right.
Yeah. So I had that line. It only went away at I nursed Sasha for almost a year after she was born, and it only went away a few months after that ended. So it was with me for a long time. It's just, you get used to your skin looking a certain way with small changes like, acne and wrinkles and stuff with just the development of skin. But
excuse me, wrinkles are not small things. Go on.
That's true. That's true.
And acne isn't either. When you're experiencing it, it's a huge thing. You feel like you are a pimple.
Did I tell you about, I may have talked about this already, about the acne, about Anna's announcement of my acne at Shabbat at school?
No.
Okay.
Or if you did, I forgot. So what's the chance that the listeners are going to remember?
If I've already told you guys the story, apologies in advance. But so my almost 5-year-old is really interested in all the different things that can happen to skin. Like she wants to know, how can skin get wrinkly, and where do pimples come from, and will I get pimples one day, and what's that going to be like? So, and I don't even know where she heard the word acne, but it has really stuck with her. So she talks about it all the time. And at her preschool, they do Shabbat every Friday. So I went to the Shabbat a few weeks ago, and the song leader said, does anybody have any boo-boos? Because we're going to sing Misha Beirach. And if you don't know what Misha Beirach is, it's a prayer for healing. That's traditional in Shabbat services. And they do like a very sweet song. And my daughter says, yes, my mommy does. She has acne. So then all these preschoolers sang a prayer of healing for mommy's acne. And it was
and you did not have
cute.
Acne, I'm guessing.
I don't think that I don't think I had noticeable. I've had more acne. I don't know. My skin looked about like it does now, which is not very, this was more about, I think she wanted to.
Let's just say it's not something to pray about.
Yeah.
Save your prayers, people. There are worse problems in the world. So when you say you had freckles and it made you feel cute, I want to talk about what our image of freckles is and how that has evolved. So like what freckles say about one's personality. So it has long been associated, right? People have always thought of people with freckles as being more outgoing or more adventurous, or they're like risk takers, or they're people who want to explore new possibilities. This is based on nothing, right?
Well, I think if I had to guess, I would say it's based on, I think we have an association with freckles, meaning that you're sun-kissed, and someone who is sun-kissed is spending time outside, and maybe we sort of make the connection unconsciously. I don't know. That would be my guess.
So freckles are random, right? So they're scattered around your face. They're not like symmetrical. You don't have the same pattern on one cheek as you have on the other cheek. So one of the theories is that they are symbolic of the unpredictability of life. So that is why they can be seen as a sign of creativity, as the unique patterns and shapes create a look that can inspire creative ideas. This is a very positive spin. If you are completely covered with freckles, I can see that your eyes are rolling up in your head right now as I say this. Additionally, people with freckles are often seen as being confident and self-assured because the presence of freckles can give the wearer a sense of uniqueness and individuality, which depending on your age can be a good thing or a bad thing. There are stages of development, as we all know, where being unique is the last thing in the world that you want to be. You want to be just like everyone else. You see a photo of a group of girls in the 8th grade and their hair is exactly the same. They're all wearing the exact same crop top, exposing the exact same amount of their belly, and they are wearing flannel pajama bottoms to school. Do you know this? This is the style right now.
A specific photo that you're thinking of, or?
It is, but it's a specific style that is prevalent right now, at least where we live in middle schools. I'm
Kids
just
are
saying.
Wearing pajamas to school? Real pajamas?
Absolutely. The bottoms, just the bottoms. They have really cute tight tops that are unfortunately revealing. Boys and girls wear plaid, flannel, drawstring pajama bottoms to school all the time. Go drive to a middle school and see. You will not believe.
Can you guys show me your pants?
You don't have to ask. They're just out there in their pants. I'm telling you. But the point is, everybody looks exactly alike. When I was that age, we all wore bell bottoms. They were brand new and you had to have them. And you had to have a certain brand, which I'm sure you've never heard of because I'm sure it went the way
What
of
was the brand?
landlubbers.
I have heard the like pirate expression, but I don't
What
think
is that? What's a
Oh,
pirate?
landlubber. It doesn't it mean landlover? It's like a pirate epithet.
Perhaps. I just know that they were striped and that they were very low cut on your hips, which depending on how you were built was a flattering look or in most cases a completely unflattering look.
Were they denim?
They were
bottom jeans?
all kinds of things. They were stripes of all different bright colors. They were very kind of Sergeant Peppery, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
But back to Freckles. So individuality. So, it is said that they can be used as an insight into people's character. I don't know that I buy it. I kind of don't buy it. It just doesn't make any sense.
Well,
now,
I think if we're going to subscribe to the theory that we don't judge a book by its cover, then what somebody looks like doesn't need to tell us what their personality is. But it's interesting to think about.
Everything is interesting to think about, particularly when you give an F about it. We'll be back to talk more about Freckles just after this message. So here's the thing, Gabi, and you're the one who alerted me to this trend. Freckles are in. Mm-hmm. While in many eras, and maybe even right now amongst some people, freckles are something that you want to eliminate or get rid of or put concealer on or put makeup on, or maybe even go so far as to have lasered off, which I'm sure you can do. Now there are all sorts of products available and kits available, and we are linking to this in our show notes today to apply freckles to your face. Can you even imagine?
I saw a TikTok about a product that you put on, and I was so stressed out by this. It seems so chaotic. You apply it by flicking it's like a paintbrush and it sprays. Did you see this already?
I didn't see the TikTok, but I read about it. Now I think I have to go look up the TikTok. Maybe we should put that in our show notes too so people can see this process, because I'm imagining if I were to do it, because I'm not exactly what would be a nice way to say this about myself. I'm kind of like slobby and
me too. I would get them all over my bathroom counter and on my hair and on my shirt.
Oh, and I would get it in my eye, and then I'd have to go to the emergency room because I'd have freckles on my eyes. And yeah, it would be a disaster. But yeah, so tell me what happened in this video.
I stopped paying attention, as a disclaimer. I stopped paying attention to how to do makeup beyond foundation, mascara, lipstick, etc. When contouring became a thing. I was like, I don't understand the artistry of that. I don't know what I'm supposed to highlight. I'm just going to keep doing what I've been doing since I learned how to put makeup on. But,
wait, Gabi, I have to interrupt you.
Yeah.
What the hell is contouring?
Oh, okay. So contouring is this thing where you put on your foundation and then you take a stick, like a darker sort of tan, like the color that I don't know, like that
the color that you wish you were.
Well, the idea is to create shadowing, I think, to make you look a little bit, the kids call it snatched, to make your, to sculpt your face, to accentuate your cheekbones. It's basically what the idea of blush and highlighter and all those things are, except, I don't know. I don't understand when it comes to eyeshadow. I don't understand I've never once put on eyeshadow in any way other than I like this color, let's put it on my eyelids. I do not understand what design I'm supposed to be creating, what the shadowing is. I don't get it at all.
Oh, allow me, the expert in such matters, she says, tongue in cheek. I just know that you're supposed to put light stuff right under your eyebrows to make that. First of all, then you're supposed to do stuff to your eyebrows, which I don't, but there are people who do. Then you want to make it seem like your eyes are deep set, so you put dark in the crease, the furthest back spot. And then you
Okay.
put light again on the eyelid or color. But
Do you remember?
I think blue is not in anymore. Or is it back?
Or maybe it is. Everything that's old is new now. Every time I go to a clothing store, I feel like I'm taking a tour through every phase of fashion I lived through when I was growing up. But do you remember in the 90s, Clinique used to sell little compacts where there was like a light color and a dark color for eyeshadow? That has been my approach. I understand light on top, dark on the bottom. I've never understood what it's doing. But all of this is to say, I don't get it. I'm not going to buy a Freckles kit, but I'm very interested in it's fun to see what people who know what they're doing have to say about it. So I just stumbled upon this TikTok video of this. I probably shouldn't say TikTok video. I think you say TikTok and it's understood that it's a video. So I stumbled upon a TikTok and this young woman was just doing her makeup. And then she didn't even say, I have this cool new product and it's for freckles. It was like, that was just an obvious step of her makeup routine. And I was watching her and it looked like she was taking mascara and smearing it all over her face, but it looked totally cute and very realistic afterwards. So I don't know.
How does it not smear? Because I cry usually 2 or 3 times a day. And so I'm no, I really don't. But and if I do, it's from happiness. It's like, oh, I saw a cute dog. Anyway, I would have like these little stripes running down my face, or maybe it's just waterproof.
Could be. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't look that far into it, but it definitely seems like it could be. My guess is that it's probably one of those products. There's a whole new market of, and I actually know that this is a thing too, semi-permanent tattoos. Have you heard of this?
Of course.
So
not.
Tattoos, tattoos. So henna tattoos can last, I think, sometimes like a couple of weeks, depending on how often you wash where they are. So there is this, I've seen these tattoos that can last like 2 to 3 months. And I know that that's an option for freckles as well. The ones that you apply it's probably similar to, I'm just guessing, but waterproof mascara, which in my experience is not completely waterproof. I don't know. It still smears sometimes, but
can we just spend a few minutes talking about this need? And this is not new. Women have been, and humans, not just women, have been adorning themselves and putting paint on their faces since time began. I mean, this really goes all the way back to the cave people.
Mm-hmm.
What is this need we have to make ourselves look different than the way that we look?
I mean, I think it probably comes from the power that we know can come from looking a particular way. That's certainly where makeup comes from. There's certainly self-loathing in wanting to change our faces. But I think the reason that, the core reason that people want to change their appearance in any way is because really what it comes down to is the power that they perceive that they will have. But I also think now that we have lots of choices and different options, I'm not somebody who, maybe once my kids are older, it'll be different. But I've never really been somebody who has all that much fun with makeup. I just have never been that into it. But I know that for some people, it's just fun and exciting to get to look a little bit different every day.
So I want to posit a theory that I just made up, and it probably has no validity whatsoever, but maybe humans do this as a way of making themselves more sexually attractive in order to perpetuate the species.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Don't I sound like a junior anthropologist?
A senior anthropologist.
I took one class one time in anthropology, and it was called aggression. Can you imagine just studying aggression?
Your whole class was about aggression?
That was it. That was the title of the class, and it was about aggression in humans.
Well, let me tell you, I feel like I know you pretty well, and if that class was about teaching you how to be aggressive, you didn't do a very good job because...
Yeah. I don't even remember anything I learned, but that I hate to say it, but that just kind of happens. It was a lot of years ago. I just remember loving the learning and thinking it was so fascinating. I mean, I guess that's a good thing, but one would hope that one would remember the actual content of the course. But
I mean, I don't know. I don't remember. Every now and then I'll remember something I learned in a college class that's totally, it feels like it's out of the blue, but sometimes I think that stuff's just about the experience that you're having at the moment and training your brain to understand complex stuff. But yeah, I don't
I think
remember
the
a lot.
more years go by, the harder it is. So here's the question. Do you wish you had more freckles? Do you wish that your pregnancy and nursing freckles hadn't disappeared?
The older I get, the more I appreciate the less time, let's put it this way, the less time I spend wishing that I looked any different. And it's not because I feel like I am just perfect so much as
Which you are.
Well, so my husband said this thing to me. This is a tiny bit of a journey, but I think that it'll make sense. When we were engaged and we were talking about taking, whether I was going to take his name or not, I always knew I didn't want to, not only because I published under my name, but also because my mom didn't change her name and I just didn't want to. Like I just didn't want to stop being Gabi Moskowitz. And he was a little bit sad about it at first because he had kind of envisioned having a wife who would take his name. And, but he wasn't going to push it. And then a couple months after we got married, we talked about it. And I said, how are you feeling about that? And he said, the more I thought about it, the more I felt like if you changed your name, then you wouldn't be you. And I want to be married to you. And that's kind of how I feel about making a lot of changes in the way that I look. If I stopped looking like me, then I wouldn't be me, and I want to be me.
I love that, Gabi, and I hope that there are young women listening to that and really kind of soaking that in. I am obviously showing the signs of age, and I embrace it. I embrace it because I earned every one of these wrinkles. I earned the little saggy skin right here on the bottom of my neck. And I want my granddaughter and other young women to see that this is what it looks like when you age. We don't have to put a judgment on it. We don't have to say that it's ugly or beautiful for that matter. It just is. It is,
and it's a privilege to age.
Well, and that's what I was going to get to. My sister and my brother didn't have that privilege. And next year I will have outlived both of them or lived longer than either of them lived. I'm already 9 years beyond what my sister lived. And so I feel really strongly that this is what it looks like. I don't want to send the message to young women everywhere that you should be ashamed of a natural process. I mean, these are all natural processes. We've talked about this on the show many times before. We hid so much growing up because of society's messages. The fact is we menstruate. Hello, it's true. We do. It's normal. It's a really good thing that we do because that's why we have human beings that are being born all the time. And what is also true is X, Y, there's a million things that are true. And one of them is that human skin does all kinds of things when you're, certainly in your teenage years. Often you're producing more oils, and that's why you have acne. And I'm not saying it's beautiful or attractive or people should all just, accept, but yeah, kind of, that would be nice if people didn't judge and didn't feel the need to have, I would go so far as to say plastic surgery. Now, having said all of that, I do not judge people who choose to enhance their appearance in whatever way. I obviously make choices. I use makeup. I do different things. I curl my hair or don't curl my, whatever. But I really want to put a plug in there for embracing what is and feeling comfortable with what is and feeling beautiful inside. And if it means looking in the mirror less, so be it. And if it means looking in the mirror and finding one or two things about yourself that you think are beautiful, then do that. And if you have freckles, embrace them. Remember what I said early on. Freckles can mean creativity. They can mean adventurousness. They can mean an outgoing personality. So love your freckles. If you love freckles and don't have them, get one of those kits. You can also just get a pen where you dot them on, but that just does not sound good to me. Who was that? Pippi Longstocking? Or there was some
Pippi Longstocking, yeah, was the freckle.
But she put them on with dots, and they didn't look so real. Or did I make that up?
Are you talking about there were Pippi Longstocking, the TV show and the movies? Talking about the actress?
No, it was a book. I didn't even know it was.
Oh, yeah, in the book. In the book, I think so.
There was a movie? Who knew? Anyway, do we have any other news that we want to share with our listeners? Have I mentioned that I got Anne Lamott?
That was so amazing.
To say something wonderful about my book. I am so excited. We were able to pull the book from the printer and put Anne Lamott's quote. If you don't know who Anne Lamott is, you should immediately go to your local library, bookstore, independent bookstore, or whatever, and order any one of a number of her novels or memoirs. She's extraordinary. And if you like Anne Lamott books, I think you're going to like my book too. It's called By Accident, a memoir of letting go, and you can order it now on Amazon or at your favorite independent bookstore or anywhere.
And pre-orders mean a lot for authors, so pre-order on Amazon or anywhere else. It'll be really helpful for Joanne.
Thanks so much, Gabi. And thanks to all of you for listening to All the F Words. You can follow us on social media.
We are on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube at allthefwordspod. And you can email us, allthefwordspod@gmail.com.
Embrace your freckles. Have a great week.
Bye.
Bye-bye.